I don't know why.
Which is the listed price, the listed, it was scanned, and the price pick is $0.
Just like that.
You're stealing from your employer. Okay, that's the biggest thing.
Not free. It wasn't free. Somehow they all rung up with it.
I'm not getting 99% off on these products. $923 worth of merchandise. That's felony. Automatically. Felony.
Oh, Lord. Jail.
Yeah, you will have to stay overnight, and like I said, you'll see.
Nassau County, Florida, July 10th, 2025. A supermarket employee sits across from a sheriff's deputy, not because she was caught in the act, but because the math finally added up. How does a number determine whether justice is negotiable?
Before proceeding to self-checkout.
Excuse me, ma'am. Do you know where the other deputy went? Is there another deputy here?
If they're here, why not?
This one? Okay.
So obviously you can discuss this, okay? So what's kind of the stipulation behind that? What's going on with that?
What do you mean the stipulation?
So what's the reasoning behind?
Oh, because the items was going out. I figured I could at least get something of it.
And this wasn't brought to anybody's attention. I mean, you weren't bringing it up to management. You weren't bringing it up to anybody else. Okay. So you guys were basically weighing up the items that were not the correct items.
He put that on the scale that I'd seen. Somehow he put it on the scale, and then a ticket would print out.
Okay. So, and then is this the very first date on that 6/18?
No, that's the last one actually. The very first one's gonna be back in March. I have.
So I'm looking at a couple items, and it's stuff such as back in March. Okay, we're looking on the 28th of March. All right. We have items such as Nathan hot dogs. Okay, their actual retail is $14.99. All right, and it's being seen that there is a barcode on it. All right, it was scanned, and the price paid is $0.
Huh? How?
I'm just giving you all the information. Okay, I have it. You can see exactly what we're looking at.
I can't see it, but
so the item labeled was a half boneless pork loin. The price listed on it is $0, and the actual item is Nathan hot dogs. So we're scanning an item that's coming up as a half boneless pork loin for $0, and the actual item is a Nathan's hot dog package.
it had to have a scan on it because I would never have anything that was.
Yep. It did have a label, and it took it down to $0. It took it down to $0.
So basically, stating that you're putting the barcodes on it. All right, these are not standard barcodes that are listed on the packaging, not the manufacturer barcodes. Okay, these are barcodes that are being placed on it, and we can see. All right,
Yeah.
I know what the Winn-Dixie barcode is the big white piece of paper. Okay, unlike Publix and stuff like that, it's just a regular a manufacturer barcode. Okay, so this package right here is coming up. You're scanning it, and it's coming up as $0.
I don't know why.
Which is the listed price. The price is listed on the barcode. Okay, everybody looks at the barcode, right? Because it'll tell you the pounds, it'll tell you how much it is, it'll tell you everything behind it. Okay, so where are you getting this free? Who's giving you authorization?
It's not free. It wasn't free. Somehow they all rung up with there was a price tag on everything I got was a price tag. I mean, I didn't look at it, but I see them print price tag, and it had to have something on it because I paid for it for whatever it was every time.
And I do have every transaction receipt. I know that's in my typing, but every single one is on this video. I have a USB drive of the actual receipt.
So, and then in total, what's the total loss ever from March 28th to, what would be last day, would be June 18th?
$923.
$923 worth of merchandise.
So do they want me to pay that?
That's what we're hoping. It's just the process that we go through to do that for restitution.
Yep. So, and obviously, this is something that we have to look into because obviously, like you said, you haven't gotten management approval for this. I mean, this is something that you and another employee are doing. Okay. And that's not the actual price of the product, and then you're doing it intentionally, you're stealing from your employer. Okay, that's the biggest thing. All right, and the issue that we come across is that you reach that threshold of $750, That's felony, automatically felony.
Oh, Lord.
Okay, so that's where we start having a little bit of issue. When it becomes misdemeanor, that's one thing we talk to employers. Employers decide, okay, we want to pursue charges. We don't. When it becomes felony, there is no choice. There is no choice whatsoever. Okay, so obviously we're looking at all these, and it's the same exact thing for every single one. Is it all meat products? That's the only thing?
She works in the meat department, so we bacon,
Okay.
hot dogs.
Okay.
You know,
So it's your own department that we're looking at.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, and it's everything that we're looking at. And I know that, you know, when stuff starts going out of stock or the expiration date and stuff like that,
The seal was
you know,
broken.
the sales do drop. They do. Okay. But not $30.
I'm done.
Okay. We're not looking at $30. You know, we have an additional one for $21 marked down. All right. So, you know, there's a lot of things in here that, you know the prices don't go down that much because an actual, you know, customer and stuff like that, we would not get that. Okay. If I came in the store and something was going out of date tomorrow, I'm not getting 99% off on these products. Okay. So, and that's a totally different thing if it's between you and your managers and your managers approve it, that's one thing. But if you're intentionally putting these barcodes on it knowing that you're saving $40-something here and you're only paying $3 instead of $43, there's a little bit of an issue there.
What was that?
Smithfield bacon, 4 packages. Paid 4 packages, you paid $3.24 rather than the retail price of $43.96.
How would it be $43?
For 4 packs of bacon?
Oh, 4 packs.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so, you know, and we keep going on. Ballpark, hot dogs, you paid 92 cents, originally $12. Okay, then we go into 2 packages of sausages, originally almost $11, you paid $1.46.
Some of those sausages was marked down. Whoops. Some of them there was a time that one of those, they're like a couple of packs like this, every pack was marked down back there. I bought 4 or 5 of them. They're like a red hot dogs. Those were on sale already, that they marked them out because they didn't have no room for them or a label for them. And they got put out in the thing, and I purchased those myself.
Okay.
That didn't have to do with them. That's the only time, I know that's the only time I got a big old thing of any kind of sausages when I bought the separate packs. They were all marked down $1.92 or $2 something. I don't remember exactly, but those were originally marked down. Those sausagings, I haven't never gotten those sausages marked down
I got you. Well, we do have
that I can remember.
We do have quite a bit of items in here too that you're putting in the wrong barcodes on them. All right, so you're
I
putting
didn't
in
put no wrong
frozen
barcodes.
turkey breast when in reality we're buying deli meat. All right, and then frozen turkey breast and you're buying tilapia. Okay, and then it goes on and on. There's multiple items on here that, you know, item listed as a Boston butt, you're buying tilapia. Boston butt, you're buying Smithfield bacon. Because you can put in a weight, you can put a weight amount on it, and you can put your actual dollar amount on it, rather than paying the actual, you know, retail price on these items.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to talk to Mr. John and.
Hey, let me talk just for a second, okay? Because we got options right now, okay? But if you're going to sit here and you're going to tell us that, you know, Smithfield bacon.
No, only
Marked
thing
down
I'll
like
come, there's a
$40.
thing of sausages like that. I understand what
Okay.
was here.
So when you say you understand that doesn't look good. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Because like I said, we got options at this point in time. But you're going to sit here and tell us that common sense overruled.
No. I wasn't saying that. The only thing I was talking about is where there was multiple sausages for $1 something.
Okay, and we'll talk
Those
about
were
we'll talk about that in a minute.
the right price.
Yeah, but when you know we're all adults here. Okay.
Yes, sir. I've never did this. Never done anything. I don't never get in trouble or
Okay.
do
but-
anything, and I didn't realize. I
But it
just
was-
because
so-
I know stuff normally gets marked down, maybe not that low.
Mhm.
You know.
Okay, but come on, we understand what's going on here, all right? And like I said, we got options. But if you're gonna sit here and tell me to my face that I don't see what I see,
No, sir, that ain't what I was saying.
okay. We make mistakes. Right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Hang on,
And you never done something like this before, but you know, it's just tough right now, right? Times are tough. You did what you needed to do, correct? Okay. All right. Well, what we got to figure out is where we go from here. A lot of times in life we make mistakes. And in this case, you made a mistake. Correct? Right. Yeah.
All right. Mr. John, we'll step out here and we'll talk and we'll see. You said you do have all video footage and everything like that? Okay. All right, just hang tight in here. All right, and we'll be right back with you. On these videos, I mean, what are they kind of showing in reference to, like the actual barcodes? Like, is it the manager that's doing it? Is it her sometimes?
We don't have video of the actual items being marked down.
Okay.
We just have what they're saying and then what we're seeing on the video through the transactions.
Okay.
So we did go through this a couple weeks ago with another associate. She said the same thing, that Andy, the market manager, is given approval for this. But Andy's never gotten approval from the store manager, so he's doing it on his own, kind of taking the other associates under their wing. So I had this is one of my last internal interview. And he says, Anderson does not tolerate marking down of product, meat and seafood, or lower prices of fresh product from the sales floor, or change labels for any reason. So he's saying he's not doing it.
Okay. And then what was her statement in reference?
Yeah. After coming to the meats department, I seen our meats going bad color-wise, so I asked Andy if we get anything marked down, because it's old, change colors to be able to purchase it in a markdown. Purchase it, and he marked it down. He marked it down. So she is saying that in her statement as well.
Okay.
Same thing the other associate said too.
Okay. And I know, so with the last one, I mean, what was kind of the end goal of that one?
We're just aiming for restitution. You
Okay.
know, it was only $400, the other one. But Andy is not only marking down his own product like them, but he's also just walking out with merchandise, just straight theft.
Okay.
So I plan on doing him next Wednesday.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. All right. Well, obviously we'll have to discuss, because like I said, I mean,
Yeah.
you know, we'll have to see if we can speak to her a little bit more, because like I said, I mean, we have to kind of hit that threshold of, like, she's, you know, willfully doing this, you know, and knowing, you know, and, you know, we're kind of getting, you know, a little bit conflicting right now, because we have, you know, meat manager stating, like, yo, no, I don't approve of that, I don't approve of that. She's saying, like, he's literally marking this stuff down for me, and she's not thinking that she's doing this in the wrong. I understand, like, me personally, like, if I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, like me being an employee, and I'm sitting here, I'm like, okay, I'm paying, instead of paying for 3 pounds of meat, I'm not $25, I'm paying 98 cents. Right. Be a little red flag for me. But for, you know, state-wise and the actual, you know, state attorney's office, they're going to look at this and be like, well, how do we know that she was willfully doing this? Like, how do we know that she's, you know, so, you know, we'll kind of discuss that. You know, we'll see. This is my sergeant here, so we'll see if we can what we can work out. If we, you know, it'll obviously be documented either way. You know, in reference to, if you know, we need to write up a report for it. At least document it for you guys, that if you guys need to take it to the courthouse, do a civil lawsuit, do whatever for restitution. Cool. And obviously, if that means end of employment. All right, and
so
then,
today will definitely be end of employment, but I'm willing to go any way. Our end goal is restitution. So
I got you. Our sergeant is talking to, you know, management. They're obviously going to come in and do your separation. So what I would do is just have your apron off and everything that belongs to them, okay, and make sure you get all that. All right, and then they'll obviously have to do your, you know, termination, okay. They're not wanting to trespass you from the store. Okay, so you are still allowed to come back to this store. That is, again, up to you. Okay, we're not going to tell you, like, you can only come to this Winn-Dixie. They don't want to pursue criminal charges, like I said. They have no whatsoever, they have no intentions of doing that. They just don't have a choice, because it's out of their hands at this point. Okay, so, okay. They don't have a choice. Because the state of Florida tells us if something's misdemeanor, they have that choice. If something is felony, law enforcement takes over at that point, and we don't have that choice. So, like I said, we've already explained to them very in-depth that program, okay? So they're very well aware of that, and
So
it seems
what
like
is the
that's
program. What are you talking about? Do I got to go to court and then they
correct.
do whatever?
So what you'll do, okay? Obviously, today you'll be going with us. All right, we get to the jail, they book you in. Okay. After your booking, you have first appearance in the morning. First appearance is in front of a judge. They look at the case, they see the case and everything, and they speak with you on that. All right. They give you a bond at that point, and they tell you, hey, this is what's going to happen. Winn-Dixie comes, okay, and if they go up to the courthouse and they're like, hey, we were explained by Nassau County that we can do this program, the PTMI. All right, PTMI, like I was explaining to you earlier, is where they go up and they say, we don't want to pursue criminal charges. Although it is felony, we do not wish to pursue criminal charges. We just want restitution for this, paying back. Okay. Which it'll be on this dollar amount. So when they request that, then the judge says, okay, cool. They have to sign some document stating that's what they want. They want this dollar amount back. That was a store loss. All right. And then the judge comes up to you and says, hey, are you willing to take this? Are you willing to take this basically plea deal rather than having criminal charges on you? You accept this, stating you're going to pay back this amount of money, and they'll set a date and time and everything like that, stating that you have to pay it back before this time.
So what jail am I going to?
Nassau County.
Where's that at?
In Yulee. It's the only jail we have in Nassau. So, like I said, that's, and then if you agree to
Can
that,
I call Will to come up and get my truck?
who's that? You said Will? Yeah, we can get in contact. All right. Right now we can't make any phone calls, okay? Because like I said,
What am I mind
technically,
to make a phone call and tell them to come get my truck? I got the only key.
yeah. So we'll speak to management and everything like that, okay? And then if you need to, you can leave keys here, leave keys in the vehicle, whatever you need to do, okay? That you can notify him and then let him know, hey, the vehicle is going to be here. Management's going to be well aware that the vehicle is going to be here, okay? So they'll definitely take care of that. They're not going to sit there and tow it and everything like that. So we'll make sure that they're aware of that and they'll do everything, okay?
Well, I gotta stay there overnight in jail.
Yep, you will have to stay overnight, and like I said, you'll see the judge right in the morning. And then when you see the judge in the morning, then that's when they'll speak on behalf of what needs to be done. Okay.
Am I allowed to get my purse out of the
Huh?
truck?
No. Do you have any other belongings or anything, or is everything in the truck? Your ID, all that.
I got a bag in my locker.
Okay.
It's got my stuff I can
Well,
put in
I'll
my
get
truck.
management. We'll have to walk back there. We'll have to get all that stuff too. Okay. So, all right. So you guys want to do the
Separation?
Separation. And then what we have to do. I know she said she's got a locker with belongings in it.
Okay.
So we'll walk back there with you guys present, so we can make sure that she's grabbing only her belongings, nothing else.
Okay.
All right.
Awesome.
And then, like I said, she'll be going up today. We're not, like I said, we're not going to cuff her or anything until we get out there.
Okay.
So we'll get that situated.
Great.
I'll just need your ID.
Yeah.
All right. And then, because you and me are really the ones that have been speaking,
Yeah.
if y'all want to notify her, we'll walk back, get her belongings, and then we'll get your ID and we'll get out of here.
And then she does have some belongings in the locker back there. So if you mind walking back there with us.
We are terminating your employment with Winn-Dixie as of today. Okay? That understood? Any questions? No?
You want to head back and grab some stuff back there? Some belongings? We can all walk back there.
You don't need it?
All right. So if you want to take your apron off, anything that belongs to them.
In my pocket and put it in my thing and then leave
Okay.
it.
Okay. We'll go
'Cause
back to the
everything
locker
won't fit
and
in my hand.
we'll get that situated.
Under Florida Statute Section 812.014, theft is graded by value. Below $750, petite theft, a misdemeanor, and the employer retains the right to decide whether to press charges. At $750 or above grand theft in the third degree, a felony, carrying up to 5 years in state prison. And that employer's right to forgive? Gone. The statute removes it entirely. The central legal battlefield here is mens rea, the mental element of a crime. Florida requires proof that the defendant acted knowingly, that she was aware she was taking property that didn't belong to her. She claimed a supervisor authorized everything. But then, voluntarily, without being asked directly, she said she was leaving the job anyway and figured she could take something on the way out. That's not circumstantial evidence of intent. That's a direct admission. A prosecutor plays that clip on loop.
Is that okay if she leaves the vehicle here until somebody picks it up? Okay.
Absolutely.
You said you got another one next Wednesday?
Yeah, that
Okay.
big guy. He's the manager where these two associates that were doing it just said he was giving them permission. So,
Yeah.
but then he writes a statement saying I never gave permission, and he's doing it himself. It just
Maybe
speaks
just-
to his character.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you're going to do it with other people and you guys get caught, at least
Right.
own up to it, you know what I mean? Then you make her look crazy, you know?
Exactly. I appreciate. Yeah, I mean, these two associates were just doing the markdowns, but the manager, Andy, for next week, he's actually walking out with merchandise.
Yeah, that's going to be different. Yeah, that's going to be treated a little bit differently, I would imagine. But, all right, well,
I mean, restitution is just all really we want. Appreciate it.
perfect. Well, hey, sir.
Thank you.
I'll see you next Wednesday, all right?
This has got a needle in it, and I probably won't be able to take that. I got to test my sugar.
Yeah, they'll be able to test everything for you.
Anything medical, you got to leave. Yeah.
All right.
They have a
Nassau.
full-time nurse. Yeah, you get a phone call, so they'll be able to
Am
access
I able to
contacts and
take my
everything.
phone with me?
Yep.
Ah, damn. I gotta leave the keys, so I about forgot that.
And nothing else on you, any pockets or anything that you have possibly? Okay. And nothing, we always ask nothing that's qualified as contraband on
They
you?
said you can keep it.
Nothing that's qualified as contraband on you that would be qualified when we get into the jail?
What are you talking about?
Any contraband, illegal narcotics or anything?
Weapons.
We're always required to
anything.
have, okay, because if you enter it in the jail, then it's another felony, okay, and we try to avoid that.
What are you talking about? Anything on me or something? I don't take drugs.
I understand,
It's-
we're required to ask.
We just have to ask.
Oh.
Yeah.
We're required to ask because we have to notify you that if there's any illegal narcotics, that is an additional felony if we go into the jail.
Because I got my driver's license in this, and just take these two things.
Sounds good. Alright, just go ahead and take a seat for me, alright? Now we're going to buckle you in. So it won't turn on.
Those statements were made before she was placed in handcuffs, and that timing carries serious legal weight. Under Miranda v. Arizona in 1966, officers are only required to advise a suspect of their rights at the onset of custodial interrogation. Berkemer versus McCarty in 1984 clarified that pre-arrest investigative encounters don't trigger that obligation. Every voluntary statement made before the moment of formal arrest is potentially admissible. The one opening for the defense argue that she was effectively in custody from the moment deputies arrived, that a reasonable person in her position would not have felt free to leave. If that argument succeeds, everything she said gets suppressed. $173. That's the margin between a misdemeanor and a felony in this case. In everyday terms, it's unremarkable. In legal terms, it's the difference between an employer having a choice and an employer having none, between an administrative fine and the realistic possibility of 5 years in a state prison. Winn-Dixie wanted their money back. The law had already decided this was no longer that simple. The most viable path forward is the Pretrial Intervention Program under Florida Statute Section 948.08, a prosecutorial diversion mechanism available to first-time offenders charged with property crimes. The conditions are straightforward: state attorney approval, victim consent, and full restitution paid on a court-approved schedule. Winn-Dixie confirmed it wants this route. Complete the terms, charges dismissed, no felony conviction on record permanently. That distinction matters enormously. A felony conviction doesn't just mean prison time. It affects employment eligibility, professional licensing, housing applications, and federal assistance programs for the rest of a person's life. Two legal questions remain unresolved. First, will a court determine she was effectively in custody from the start of the interview? If yes, her statements get suppressed, and the prosecution's case weakens significantly. Second, if Andy is charged and his account changes, or if he admits to authorizing the markdowns that directly undermines the knowing intent required for her conviction, neither question has a clean answer yet. Both will define how this actually ends. The deputy receives a B+. He accurately explained the felony threshold, correctly outlined the PTMI pathway, and handled the arrest with proportional restraint. No handcuffs inside the store, no unnecessary pressure, acknowledgement of medical needs. The single deduction: he allowed inculpatory statements to accumulate before ever signaling that she had the right to stop talking. That's legally permissible. It's also a calculated risk that hands the defense a suppression argument it otherwise wouldn't have had. Barbara Havery receives a D. 4 months, dozens of transactions. Each one required a deliberate, 3-step process, wrong code, printed label, wrong product. That pattern eliminates any credible claim of accidental misunderstanding. The voluntary admission about her intent sealed it. The only meaningful mitigating factor is her cooperative behavior during and after the interview, which matters at sentencing but doesn't change the grade. Winn-Dixie loss prevention receives a B. The investigation was meticulous: transaction records, surveillance footage, a precise dollar timeline, all ready before deputies arrived. The decision to pursue restitution through PTMI rather than maximum prosecution reflects sound, proportionate judgment. The grade isn't higher because a scheme of this scale ran undetected for 4 months. An effective internal audit system flags abnormal markdown patterns in real time. This one didn't. That's a process failure independent of the quality of the investigation that followed. 3 lessons stand out from this case. 1. In Florida, the $750 felony threshold isn't a technicality. It's a legal trigger that removes discretion from every party involved. Know where that line is before a situation reaches this point. 2. Voluntary statements made before formal arrest are among the most damaging evidence a defendant can produce. The right to remain silent exists before Miranda is ever read. 3. When a supervisor enables misconduct and then denies it, the legal exposure doesn't disappear. It splits across multiple people, and the employee at the bottom of that chain is rarely the one who benefits. All defendants are presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. If there's an interaction or legal topic you'd like us to break down, let us know in the comments below. Thank you for watching.